So happy Sunday, August 15th. It's about 3:15. Just checked the thermometer, it's about 76 degrees. It is actually a very lovely day. We finally broke the heat wave. So I'm starting off over here. Yes, all of my stargazer lilies are done and done. It's very sad. I'm going to make a note here. We're going to insert a picture of all their glory. We'll put a photograph in of how good they looked. But meanwhile, you done, Teddy? Okay. So, yeah, we know we have to mow the lawn. We've had a heat wave running this week, like most of the Northeast, after weeks and weeks of lots of rain. So the hydrangeas are doing, I mean, we have some blossoms on here, but the whole thing is not full of blossoms. The plant's looking good. It's nice and big and healthy. And this one here still has, a couple, 2, 3 on here. Some of the lilies. This fountain here, defilled this up today and it's running out. It's evaporating really quick. Here's another point. I'll pop in a quick video we took. A little special surprise. We had a hummingbird bathing itself in the stream. So we'll put that in there. Let's walk around the yard quick. This is just going to be a yard update. So our beans are doing okay. They're struggling against the weeds, and that's my fault. I should have been in here weeding more. No one has really climbed. I went through a lot of effort to put all these strings up here because in years past, the beans did like climbing them, but they didn't get that far this year. We had a real hard start to the season. The Korean chives are doing so good that they're putting up their scapes and their pods here. We may save some of those and spread that around. Good chives there. So here is the vegetable garden, or at least part of the vegetable garden, doing good. This is the Lyatra. It's getting nice and tall, but it still has yet to flower. Our marigolds are doing fantastic this year. We keep them around the garden to keep the pests and stuff away, but look at these guys. They we've put them in and they've done well, but these are like thriving and putting out new flowers and new flower heads. So this is an eggplant, and as you can see, we have a bunch of flowers on here and started pods and whatever. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over here. And we have another one back here with 1, 2, 3 there. That one's going to turn into an eggplant. So the eggplant's doing really good this year. Whatever happened with the weather really seemed to be doing well with it. Celery there, celery here. And we've already picked, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 celery so far this year. And it's really good. So we're having a good year with celery. I think this is our second time doing it. Oh, and this is another eggplant with at least 1 flower on it. These 2 cabbages are nice and big. All the tomatoes in the back. I can see some down there. Nothing's turning red yet, but there is definitely some fruit on the vines. We're doing Romano tomatoes this year. The good ones, but I think we may have planted them a little too close together. So even though we're kind of tying them up and holding them, and they're doing well, they're just like, there's a lot here. And I'm seeing a lot more flowers than I noticed this morning. So again, a little delayed because of the weather, but looking good. And then the squash, which I think 2 weeks ago when I took it, it was back there, and I told you it was going to start popping up. So while there's no real yellow flowers here to notice, there is some back in here, so we definitely have stuff going on. I've either just missed the flowers or they haven't opened up the flowers yet. So that's that part of the garden. And let's see, we'll move over here. Peach tree is way down like crazy. And part of this is because of the heat we had this week. Part of it is because, I definitely should have thinned out the peaches. which I mentioned before, the reason why I haven't. They're still not quite, you know, they're still very firm, so they're not ready yet. But the tree is dying, so it just doesn't have the strength in it anymore. Like if you look up here, this one this spring, it was flowering up, and you see it's got some peaches started on it, and it's dying back. And I knew that was going to happen this year, so that's why I just let it go to enjoy, you know, its last year with us. Potatoes, the leaves are definitely getting crinkled back, so we'll probably go ahead and harvest whatever grew under there. Boys enjoying whatever they're finding in the yard. Over here, so once again, the Brussels sprouts are getting chewed up by bugs, and the cabbages are still really small over here. I guess I have to do a lot heavier fertilizing in here than we've been doing. Kale's good. There's the fountain, and go ahead. Go on. There you go. Pretty much the same thing over here. Kale doing good. Cabbage has barely grown since I did the last video. Same thing with the Brussels sprouts. So I guess I need to do about 2 to 4 inches of the donkey manure up here. But yeah, take a good look at the peach tree, because I'm going to keep it up over the winter. I don't think it's going to fall over. I'm not going to take it down, because over the winter I put up the peanut feeders over here for the blue jays, and the birds just like, you know, sitting on it. Take a look at the hazelnuts. As you can see, they're starting to get more yellow, but they're still pretty soft here. Soft and supple, but they're getting there. The Japanese beetles have been chewing through the leaves pretty good. What you got over there, Teddy? Hi. Where you going? Don't be shy. Hey. So sadly, the lily garden is very quickly vanishing, just like the stargazer lilies over there. This fountain too. Look how low it is already. Defilled all this morning. Defilled all these up. Here's some more of the Lyatra, and you can see these ones here are just starting to get the flower bits on them. So we still have some of the yellow lilies over here, a few more of the orange, and a little bit of the mixed in between. And then here's the mystery one. So Dee says it's a tiger lily, but with those spots, I would be more inclined to call it like a leopard lily. But it's doing good. And hopefully that will be very prominent in a lot more of the videos. But this is what's left, unfortunately, of the lily garden. You know, we had all that heavy rain, and then we, you know, had the heat wave again. So, I mean, it was beautiful. I just didn't get up in the middle of the week to do a video. It's just this flower box of petunias. I don't know, but looking good. Beginning of the season, they were almost gone, died off from the weather. But so here's this group of sunflowers. They did not get much taller, but they are definitely starting to get flower heads on them. It's still great to see with the wind blowing through them, getting those waves through there. So I guess again, this one's area I'm going to have to do a lot more fertilizing to. These little guys over here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are Mexican sunflowers, which we got from our neighbor, and we started them very, very late. They were in a pot, and I guess where we are in our northern climate, you can't really even start them from seed. You kind of have to start them in a pot and then hope that they get strong enough. So we expect them to be not doing so well. But look at these guys. This line here is doing fantastic. So these guys here, I'm holding the phone here at eye level. So this one here is just about as tall as I am. Doing really good. A lot of them are starting to get their flower heads starting on them. And then the other wonderful thing is the beans have been doing great. They've been coming up off of, they climbed up the sunflower nice and strong, and then they grabbed onto the fence. And this one here, this was sticking out into the yard, so I kind of wrapped it around this guy here, and it's wrapping around again. So these beans are loving it. And this one here, you see we got the red on there. So there's the two types. And we have beans back here starting. And we have some bean over here. And then on the back there on the fence, we have some beans too. That's doing good. I think I heard somebody calling me over here. Bilbo. Hi, Bilbo. Yeah? Hi. Bilbo. Yeah? You want to come out and play? Bilbo. Okay. So that's the big part. We're going to be checking the beach plum for any kind of critters, any kind of caterpillars, any type of moth larvae. So it's really just lilies now. All the hosta is played out. All flowers gone pretty much everywhere. I'd have to ask Dee what these fuzzy little pink purple guys are called, but those are doing good right now. There's some in here mixed too. Or no, maybe those are a little different, but yeah, so it's whatever lilies are left. This is the corn. This week it's been loving it. It's doubled, if not tripled in size from the beginning of the week. But it's really late in the season. Noelle, we were driving over to Charlestown yesterday, and the corn was probably about 12 feet tall. All right, so let's do a quick look around the backyard. Still got some Sweet Williams going over here. These guys had somehow spread. Our hydrangea already starting to flower. Lots of blossoms. That's what we're hoping for. So apparently no matter how much snow and hard ice falls off the roof onto this thing and breaks the branches, it still comes back and is really strong. Still have lots of bee balm, doing good, hanging in there. And we still, maybe that one will come up too. We have hope. But they're doing good. I love how it has this big head on it, and it like flowers and keeps flowering all the way through. Sweet William is still lasting back here too. Some of these special black-eyed Susans, or Susans of eye color. And Dee was working on this project today. That's part of the garden. Just want the Laetra in front, and then so there's another solar fountain there in this dish, a little bowl going up with a little solar light, some more solar lights, and one of the old bird feeders. Over here to the fairy garden, we're still going to definitely see some more lilies open up over here. And this sunflower, this was the first one that opened. As you see, it's pretty much played out. But now the birds can get a head start on those seeds. So these guys are loving this area here. How pretty these are. As you see, the nasturtium is still thriving here. Spreading and thriving and over here. The nasturtium over here. I think the heat did kind of slow them down a little bit. These guys have been doing good, getting just enough moisture, just enough water. And that's about it, Felly. That's about all the updates. But I figured I'd do a quick walk around since things are changing quick. Because last time I did it, I was waiting for most of the stargazer lilies to open, and as you see, it only takes a couple of weeks and they're all gone. So, like I said, we'll pop in some decent photos of those guys and what they look like when they're doing great. And this fountain here, even though we have the solar set up, it's still leaking, so we're not running it. It just runs out of water so quick, so we're just kind of working with some extra stuff. But that's it. Until next time, before I know it, winter's going to be here. So enjoy what's left of August.